Back in 2008, I was a freshman in high school, and like any other person that's transitioning from junior high to high school, I was going through that phase of not knowing who I wanted to be, not knowing what I wanted to become in high school, or the social status I wanted. But what I did know most of all is that I was my mom's #1 little girl. That was until one day my mom had gotten a phone call from my brother, and was like, I have some shocking news. Please do not get upset from when I tell you. And she was a little like, okay, what are you talking about? Like, I'm working, hello. He was like, well, guess what? Your grandma, and he was a college student at the time, so he went to Concordia University, and my mom was kind of like, how is this happening? I thought you were full-time there, like, how is girls on your mind right now? And apparently, my sister-in-law had gotten pregnant in May of 2008, end of May, beginning of June, and she ended up having a premature pregnancy by 3 months, so my niece was born in October of 2008, opposed to being born January of 2009. So with that, my niece was born 1 pound and 6 ounces. So if any of you know that, that's really tiny. It's like this big. Literally, the palm of her hand could fit on my thumb. As crazy as that is to, comprehend that. And so my mom decides that it would be a good idea to call the 15-year-old who didn't know much about life. And she ends up calling me, and I was like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like, I acted like it was my child, like I was having the baby. I was like, I cannot be an aunt. This is crazy. What are you doing to me? And she was like, whoa, calm down. We're going to go see her. We're going to see what's up. And the reason why my brother hadn't told us earlier when she was born in October was because she was in such a bad condition. He didn't want to burden us with, a little baby into our life and then knowing that we could lose her at any second, because it was a 50% chance. And when she was born, she had to be hospitalized intensely in an incubator, and she had to be on life support for a good 4 to 5 months. So I found out about November. We went to the doctors, saw her, and when I remember stepping into the hospital, all I could think is, wow, life is so precious. I cannot believe all these little babies are struggling for their life, yet I was a couple weeks ago complaining about I'm going to be an aunt at 15. And so as I continued to visit her, every second that presented itself, I was there. I was there before school, after school, on the weekend, afterward, you name it, I was there. I wanted her to know that I was the aunt that was going to love her unconditionally. And so it wasn't until December, about a couple of days before Christmas, we went to go visit her, because everyone knows around the holidays it gets kind of busy. And so I went to go visit her, and I brought her a little Santa jumpsuit, and we put it on her in a little hat. And for the first time, I actually held her by myself. So I'm sitting there in the rocking chair, and the nurse asked me, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, am I okay? Like, this is my baby niece right here. Like, if anything happens, you're going to be right here, right? And she goes, yes, of course, I'm going to be there. And so I'm sitting there, I'm holding her, and I'm bottle feeding her, and I'm kind of rocking her back and forth, singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And the next thing you know, my niece stopped moving. Her mouth stopped sucking on the bottle. Her arms kind of just went limp. And in that second, like, my heart literally stopped. I didn't know what to do. And so I put the bottle down, and I put my hand behind her back, and I dropped my hand, and the next thing you know, her pink flush skin turned blue, and her head just dropped back in my arms. And I didn't know what to expect, so my brain shut off when my body was reacting to it. So I'm over here starting to tear up, but I'm so in shock that my mom runs out of the room. And all I hear in the background is, doctor, my daughter has gone unconscious. I need you to hurry and come into the room. And everything was just happening so fast. I literally didn't know how I got up, but they pulled in a baby gurney. They took my niece away from me, and the next thing you know, I opened my eyes, and I was sitting in the waiting room, and I was flushed red because I had been crying so much. And it was the longest 7 minutes of my life waiting for my mom to come out of the room and let me know what was going on with my niece. And she comes into those double doors, and she pats me on the back, and she goes, how are you doing? And I was like, Mom, now's not the time to know how I'm doing. I'm healthy, I'm fine, thank you very much. How's my niece doing? And comes to find out she had gag reflex, and she wasn't aware of it. Her going through her premature mind, she had forgotten how to throw up. And she ended up being okay. And so that was such a relief off my shoulder. And she ended up having stomach surgery, and before that she had heart and eye surgery because she was a premature baby at such a young age. And that was literally the worst day of my life. And she's turning 5 this October. Happy, healthy, and super smart. Thank you.